So welcome back to Robert's Laboratory. Today what we're going to talk about is get to know a little bit of the Adobe XD user interface and then create some basic shapes in it. Okay, so here I have Adobe XD opened. Starting from the top left, we have a bunch of tabs here like design, prototype, share. The design tab is the one that's active right now, and we can create a bunch of stuff here, say like rectangles and stuff like that. We're going to focus today on the design tab, but just to give you an idea, the prototype tab is where you actually make the screens that you design. And for example, if I click here, it takes me to this screen, and then if I click here, it takes me to this screen, and so on and so on. And then sharing is carrying, obviously. So you're obviously doing a lot of stuff, a lot of screens and things like that, but you have to share them with someone, and you need to share them for design review, either with the manager, or you need to share it as a presentation, or you might want to do user testing, or you want to share those with the development team because they're ready and they need to go into the pipeline, right? And this is the place where you can share them. If I save, so Command S, it will say, save it to your cloud documents, and they just say design tutorial number 2, right? Number 2, and then click save, and voila, this is the name of the document. Okay, cool. Now I can invite someone by typing their email address here. I'm not going to do anything, but you can preview what you're doing in XD. But right now, we don't have any artboard, and you don't have anything to preview on. We'll get to this a little bit later. So going back to the design tab, you see how these things are changing once I move from prototype, sharing, and then going back to design. The design is where everything takes place, and this left bar here is one of the main interface parts. So this is the selection tool. This is the rectangle tool, the ellipse tool, the polygon tool, line tool, pen tool, text tool, artboard tool, and then zoom tool. Notice if you keep the mouse hovering on top of them, you'll get the title of those particular features. See, and then back here at the bottom you have the libraries, the layers, and then the plugins. This is the canvas in the middle, and then in the right side you have an inspector, a place where you have multiple properties or features, and this will become active once you create objects inside XD. Cool. Let's get down to business and create our basic shapes. We'll start with rectangle. If you want to create, a free rectangle, you just have to click the rectangle and then create a rectangle, and it will do this just perfectly. If you want to create a perfect rectangle, you just have to hold Shift key down, and it will create a perfect rectangle. If you want to, for example, create a rectangle from this point into into the outer parts, you keep Shift and Option, and then it will create those. It will create that rectangle from that original point of view, which is in the middle. Now the same thing happens with the ellipse tool. Let's say this is a rugby ball, right? But then I want a perfect circle or ellipse, and I can do that with Shift key. If I want to create a perfect ellipse from this point outwards, I'm just clicking Shift actually, sorry, holding down Shift and Option key while I drag and create the ellipse tool. The polygon, the polygon is a tool which, let's say, has some subcomponents to it, or whatever you want to call them. The polygon default is the actual, it's a triangle because it has three sides. And then I'm just going to go through this a little bit, and then if I hold Shift key, it will create a perfect triangle. The same thing happens if I hold Shift and Option key. Let's say this is the center point, and it will create a polygon. Cool. What happens if I want a polygon with multiple sides? Let's say if I'm just going to copy this. So copy and then paste here. It pastes the object on top of the previous object, and if you move it, you'll notice that it's a different object. See, it's the fourth polygon here. Let's take it from the start. I'm duplicating this this triangle here, this polygon with three faces, and then if I select this polygon, you'll notice that this in this right side we have a bunch of properties, and somewhere here in the middle we have this polygon shape here, and it says corner count. Well, that's exactly what it is. It's a corner count, or the number of faces that it has. So let's say I want 5 corners, or five faces, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Let's say I want 7. I'll just change the number. But notice that this shape is a little bit irregular. If you want to have a perfect polygon, make sure you're going to create this polygon from a perfect polygon that you created earlier. So with the Shift tool, you create a perfect polygon, and then you say I want a hexagon which has 6 sides, and there it is. It looks really great. Cool. I'm not going to go with the whole inspector and the properties thing right now, because I'm going to do this in a separate video or later on this video. I just want to focus on this part here. Now that you know how to make polygons, let's try and make a simple line. Well, you select the line tool, and then you go drag and drop from left to right, from right to right, and you just you let it go. This is a line, right? Point A, point B. There is no there is no irregular line like in this case here, but what you can do with the Shift key, you can create a perfect horizontal line, or then if you move your mouse up, it goes 45 degrees. If you move it even more up, it creates a a vertical line. So going back 45 horizontal line, let's just make a 45-degree line, right? This is the 45-degree line. What happens if I hold the Shift key and Option key? Well, it does the same thing as previously. It just generates a line from that point of the center point. So let's do this again. Say in relation to this line, if I start from here and hold the Shift and Option key on my Mac, it will create a line from this center point to the left and to the right. Now, the next tool is one of the most important tools that you might probably have seen in Photoshop or Illustrator or other design tools. If you're new to this, the pen tool is one of the most powerful tools in design. It lets you create any kind of shape you can you have in mind. So for example, let's create an irregular shape, and I'm just clicking on the canvas randomly. It doesn't have to be something logical, say, and then I can either let it be open like this, or I can make it closed like this, for example. And closed means that it doesn't have this opening right here, right? So this is closed, this is open. What can I do to change this if I don't like it from from the start? I can double click it, and I can then select any corner, any point here, and just, let's say for example I want to move this upper, and I'm moving this into the upper side. Maybe I don't like this corner. I'm just going to delete it by pressing the delete key or the return key on my Mac. I want this corner to be a little more like a circle, right? So I'm double clicking this one, and it gives me some anchors here. See, you have two anchor points, and then I can move those anchor handles. I can make them bigger or smaller, and that affects how the curve of that point goes. And you can do a lot of stuff. So imagination here is the right word. You can do whatever whatever you think on your mind. Let's just create something really stupid. Let's just say that I'm creating a fictional alien. So I'm going to create a fictional alien head, right? And this is how I would do it. This is how I would do it. And one other thing that I want you to notice is that if I go to the mouse to this point, and I want to kind of make this point on the same level as the previous point. I just have to hover a little bit, and it will tell me where that point is. Let's do this again with this point. So I'm going here, and then I'm going to the right side, and then something like this. Okay, cool. And then maybe I want another point here, something like this, and oops, we missed this one, and something like this, and then this, and this, and this. So I don't know, it's a stupid alien head. Maybe it has an antenna from the birth, right? And then I want to make some ellipses for its eyes. Maybe this, something like this. Maybe I want to make a mouth, but I don't want to make a mouth from a square or a polygon tool, but I want to do a mouth from a free shape. Let's say this. Maybe I want to make him small, okay? And then I'm doing this and this. And now we have a smalling alien, right? It probably it's missing some of the teeth, because he's probably a predator or something like that. And we have this polygon tool, which gives us a maybe he has just one tooth, right? So voila, this is a I don't know, stupid alien. And you just created this, we just created this alien with some very basic shapes that we have in this part of the in Adobe XD. Adobe XD is not necessarily for illustrating. Maybe Adobe Illustrator is more at that part, but I'm just showcasing what you can do with some of the basic tools that you can see in the left side here. And you just have to combine them and use them to properly get proper results. On a more serious note, you can do, let's duplicate this, and you can do a lot of let's say for example you want to make the Fibonacci. I'm not going to do it as what's it called, 100% accurate. I'm just going to make a small representation of, actually let's make it accurate. Let's just make this like 10, and I'm going to make this and this. If you don't know the Fibonacci, just Google Fibonacci, because it's essential that you understand Fibonacci at some point in design, not necessarily now, but it's a great thing to read. So it's 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then it's 5. For those who don't know what, so let me just explain. Fibonacci is like 1 plus 1 plus, and then the other one is the sum of the previous two, so it's 2, and then 2 plus 1 is 3. 3, and then plus, and 3 plus 2 is 5, and then 5 plus 3 is 8, obviously, and then and then 8 plus 5 is 13, and then 8 plus 13 is 21, and so on and so on. And I'm just going to showcase this, and this is like 0 plus 1, just so you understand. So this is 10 by 10, and this is 10 by 10. So we have 1 1 1 1 2 2 here. Well, let's just say it's 20 millimeters instead of, and then 3, and then 5, and then if I duplicate this, it will be the next one, which is 80, and it's going to be like this. Let's just move this a little bit here, and then let's see, it's like 13, and it's like this, and I think I just did it in a mirror way, and then 210, which is obviously 21. So I did it the other way around, doesn't matter, but this is the stuff that you can create if you're more, let's say, if you don't want to try and do stupid stuff like this one. You can also try and do mathematical stuff within Adobe XD if you want. So just think that with a simple rectangle, you can create the floor of your house. So for example, this is the house here, and then this is a hallway, and here is the entrance, and then this hallway maybe is like this, and then you have, like, let's say you have a kitchen right here, and then the kitchen is something like this maybe, and then you have two bedrooms here, something like this and something like this, and both of them, let's make them a little bit smaller, and both of them have their own let's say bathroom, right? And then you kind of just created a house. I haven't showed you the text tool, although I used it here. So the text tool is this one, and I'm just going to click it, and if you click and then you say this is a text label, and as I was saying, like entrance, and then living room, and let's say kitchen, and so on and so on, right? This is the actual power of XD. For the circles, let's try something even more profound, if you will. Maybe that's the actual word, profound. So I'm having this circle right here, right? And I'm going to duplicate it by holding the Option key. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make it 50% opacity, or somewhere over there, and I'm going to duplicate it again. And you notice this, this cyan lines. Adobe XD is smart enough to tell me that the middle of the circle has reached the the point of that particular circle behind it. And this point here is this actual circle of point of origin of this circle. And right now I've selected these two circles, right? And I'm just going to say copy. I'm going to say paste. And then if I have a selection and I'm going, I'm holding the mouse over the edge of a corner, it lets me rotate the selection. You can do it, but you can also do it here, and we'll go through this stuff right away. But I'm going to do it from here, and I'm just going to hold the shift key, and I'm going to rotate it around 60 degrees. I'm not sure if that's the right way, but we'll see. So, and then again 60 degrees. And what we just accomplished is something profound, like the flower life. Google this as well. So this is made entirely by circles, right? So this is the kind of stuff that you can do in Adobe XD. We're going to focus on creating websites and applications and stuff like that, but just to give you a glimpse of idea of what you can do inside XD, this is the actual stuff. And